the news across the station. We make fun of information. You wait, we hope for the news. We just love to give you the news. And down.
Hey, how about that? Special effects and everything for this episode of The Kidders. Welcome, all of you loyal fans who are watching us, and you're saying, hey, it looks like there's only two guys there today. What's the deal with that? Well, that's because it's Tim Slagle. We discovered this last week, has multiple personalities, so we don't need anybody else.
And the sound of the June bugs smashing themselves against the window tells me it's time to pull the page off the calendar. I can't believe it's June already.
It is the 2nd of June, and all of Chicago woke up rather sad this morning because the Blackhawks lost and Rahm Emanuel is still the mayor. So everybody... So yeah. What did I just read? That he's pulling $2 million to do something. I don't know what it is. Recarpeting the dog parks or something really stupid. and the man just doesn't know when to quit. So who knows? Anyhow, we still went through the news. We still have some stories for you, and there are only two kidders of us. You know, this is not a career for everybody. You've got to have stamina. You've got to have a sense of humor, and most of all, you got to be able to work a computer. So if you have those. If you have any of those three, especially the computer part, you leave us a message at this station or YouTube video or whatever you're watching, and then we might get back to you.
Yeah,
right.
The odds are 1 out of 40 that we might actually pick you as our new kid.
Exactly. It's like a lottery. Just send in anything that you like. Maybe a little video like you do to get on Survivor and say, here I am, being funny about something I found in the news. Please pick me, and hi to Mom. And, you're in. Tim?
No, I'm waiting for the news stories.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you'll learn editing techniques just like this when you're a kidder. Here's the first one.
We already did the pathetic ploy for another kidder.
That killed almost half our time. All right. A woman in San Francisco, her name is Erica J., but she goes by the nickname of Rat Girl. And she lives in an SRO, a single-room occupancy hotel, and she's been breeding rats in her room, breeding them, and then releasing them out into the wild so that they can roam free.
It's actually a really sad story. She's apparently a crazy cat lady with a speech impediment.
But it says she takes them with her wherever she goes. She was living under a bridge for a while, and the rats followed her. And the most disturbing part of this story is that, according to the police department, where is it? And I quote, stay with me, kids, because apparently the teleprompter's gone down again. And I quote, the department has been able to adopt out some of Erica's domesticated rats.
Well,
oh,
after all, it is San Francisco, where they pretty much invented LSD.
But turning all these rats out into the public, which answers the question, where will the next Nancy Pelosi come from? Speaking of Nancy, this has nothing to do with her. It has to do with someone else we're really not fond of. That would be France. So France spends $20 billion, that's $billion, which I believe that's 4,000 euros. $20 billion for 2,000 new trains for their expanding rail system. And the problem is the trains are too big to fit in the train stations.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, a train too big for the tunnel is a 1940s film metaphor for an interracial marriage.
And this is why you folks watch The Kidders. It's for gems like that. that I promise you won't hear anywhere else. That was good. I think with that $20 billion, they should have taken maybe only $500 million and bought some freaking rulers. All right, measure.
Well, that's kind of the problem. Is in France they beheaded all their rulers in the 18th century.
Let them eat stale bread and cheese. All right. Here we go. A guy in Polk City, Florida, which I believe was James Brown hit. Anyhow, he stole a GPS unit from a car, had it in his backpack, and then he got lost in the woods, and he was being chased by wild pigs, and he didn't know what to do. I don't know how you get into the woods chased by wild pigs. Apparently, he smelled like corn, and so what does he do? He calls 911 to help him because he's afraid he's going to be eaten by these pigs. And they find out that this poor sap has a couple of warrants out on him, so they went to find him real quick.
Well, what else was he going to do? I mean, those Garmins, they have avoid tolls, avoid highway. They don't have avoid pig setting.
A wild pig in 50 yards. Wild pig, turn left at wild pig. So yeah, it was he had all kinds of warrants out for stealing different things. But you got a GPS system in your hand. Use that to find your way out. Jeez. All right. Well,
he also had a bunch of jewelry. Maybe he could have found like a crystal in there that he could have
bribed the pigs with. Here, swine brethren, have this. All right, in Florida, and a lot of goofy stories happen in Florida, and people say, well, what's the matter with those people in Florida? Can't they read? And apparently they can't because the Winter Park High School in Winter Park, Florida, they had to recall their yearbooks because the pages were never copy edited, and every single page contained a typo, a spelling error, or a misused word. So they're going to redo it and put it out on DVD.
DVD? What year is this? At least they could have put it out on Blu-ray, maybe on a flash drive. And apparently the poor kids don't even have autocorrect.
And on a DVD, how are you going to get that signed, huh? You don't know where your picture is on there to sign it. Would be a lot easier to store for the next 30 years without ever looking at it again. But that's too funny. All right, and finally, we got one more story for you kids before we sign off. In Moses Lake, this is all about geyser power. An 89-year-old woman in Moses Lake, Washington, a guy came into her store to rob her, and he had a 3-foot-long sword with him, and said, give me all your money. And then they started like wrestling, and he knocked her down, and when he knocked her down, she grabbed a golf club. And she was swinging for the guy's head, but since she was on the ground, she couldn't reach all that way up, and just kind of swung that club as high as she could. So yeah, she fought off an armed robber who had a sword, and then the guy, before he took off, because he did get away on his BMX bicycle, and before he took off, he removed all of his clothes and left them there.
And got away on the BMX bike with the cash register.
Yeah,
so here's this guy on a BMX bike with a sword and a cash register, stark naked. They put out an APB for Super Mario.
And how are you going to steer if you got a cash register in one arm and your sword in the other? You know? Hey, that's all we have for you for this week, and it's done. You know, if it's not, oh, we have a viewer this week. Congratulations! Thanks for watching. Please contact us. We have a lovely prize for you for being this week's viewer. Anyhow, if you'd like to join us, if you'd like to audition to be a kid, or send us some stuff, and we'll take a look at it. And you never know. Next week at this time, you could be in front of an audience of tens of people, maybe.
Or one.
Which is really, you know, if you move it over, it's 10 in the binary system. So,
yeah, erase the decimal point.
So, Tim, do you have closing words for these lovely people today?
No.
Don't toy with me, man. You said you had the closer.
Super Mario. That was supposed to be it.
Oh, that was it. In that case, relish that. Go back, enjoy some of the other jokes. You know, the interracial marriage one, very good, very politically incorrect. So that makes 2 reasons to watch it. And speaking on behalf of Ken and myself, we'll see you next Monday, right, Ken? I mean, Tim.
I thought Ken was the one watching.
Yes.
I thought for somehow you knew who our one viewer was.
Yeah, that's it. You can't have fun like this at home, kids. Join us, and good day. Wait, I have to stop. Oh, I never started it.